Okay, we're on Eruvin, Perek Chet, Mishnah Tet, 9th Mishnah in the 8th chapter of Eruvin. The Mishnah says the following. Okay, in the past we have been discussing when you're trying to bring water into your house. Remember, they didn't have plumbing, so they didn't have either plumbing or sewage. So you had to get water in the house. But now how do you get water out of the house? Because people had wastewater as well. So the Bartanura says the following. This is the Kahati also says. If you have a chatzer that's arba amot on arba amot, if you have a courtyard that's 4x4, then hamayim she'adam asu lishtamesh behem b'chol yom, the water that a person would use, i.e. the wastewater a person would dispose of, nivla'im sham bimkomam. It becomes absorbed into the place. Now, obviously, we're assuming that you're not planting there, and I guess it's dirt or whatever. And the water that you spill doesn't leave or go out to Rishut HaRabim. But pachot me arba amot, if you have an area that's less than arba amot, and nivla'im bimkomam, v'yotzim Rishut HaRabim. So if I have a chatzer, if I have a courtyard that's less than arba amot, that creates a problem. So, because if I pour my water, my wastewater, into my small chatzer, less than 4x4 amot, then the water is going to go into Rishut HaRabim, and it's as if I spilled water out into Rishut HaRabim from the Rishut HaYachid. That's hotza'ah. So what do we do? Says the Mishnah, chatzer she pchuta mi arba amot. So if I have a chatzer that is less than arba amot by arba amot, less than 4x4 amot, and therefore it's a problem to pour wastewater, to pour any water into that chatzer, because it's going to go into Rishut HaRabim. And shovchim b'tocha mayim b'Shabbat, I cannot pour water into it on Shabbat, as we've just said. Ela imkein asula uka machzeket sa'atayim. Unless I make an uka is a guma, meaning indentation, it's a ditch, a small ditch. I can't do this on Shabbat, of course, before. That holds sa'atayim. It holds 2 sa'ah. How much is sa'atayim? The Kahati says that's 12 kav, which is about 26 liters, which Chachamim say is the amount that a person would use. Sa'atayim is the amount a person would use each day. 26 liters of water for use. Interesting. Okay? The Rambam says it's a hole that would be half an amma by half an amma at the height of 3/5 of an amma. That's the volume, the size of the hole. You can make it wider or whatever. Okay? So you would not pour water into this small chatzer, ela im kein, unless asula uka machzeket satayim min hanekef ulemata. Okay? Unless there's an uka, unless you made a ditch that can hold satayim from the hole and below. Bein mi bachutz, bein mi bifnim. Whether this ditch, whether this little water drainage area is inside or outside, i.e., inside your chatzer or outside your chatzer. Ella, rather, shebi bachutz tzarich likmor, mi bifnim ein tzarich likmor. If you make the hole outside of your chatzer in Rishut HaRabim likmor, you have to cover it. But if it's inside, ein tzarich likmor, you can put the water in. If you don't cover it. Let's look at the picture that I have for you. Okay, this is an uka. This is your less than 4 amot by 4 amot chatzer, and you want to pour your water. So if it's in here, right? If it's inside, this is the ditch that you draw that you'd have to dig beforehand. You can pour water in it. It holds a bait. It's sa'atayim. It holds 2 sa'av. It's a bait. That's what it's called. It holds machzeket sa'atayim, 2 sa'ah. Here the example is it's in Rishut HaRabim. Now the way they described it, since it's a hole, so therefore you're pouring it. I think there's a tiny bit of it actually in Rishut HaYachid because you can't take the water and cup and pour it out. You have to pour straight into the hole. And this is covered, okay? And that's why it's okay. Because since it's covered, therefore it's covered, you have to cover it. Why? You have to cover it. It doesn't look like you're pouring directly into Rishut HaRabim. So that's the way. If it's a bigger courtyard than this, and you can pour into the courtyard. If it's smaller, you have to dig a hole that holds sa'atayim of liquid, either inside, and it doesn't have to be covered, or outside, and it does. That's what you do. That's what you should do if you have a small courtyard on Shabbat. We'll stop here. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me. And we'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.